Should I start from zero or?
Yeah, you better go from zero. Okay. This is pretty new for us.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Just to know if I start talking and spend 5 minutes
for the
talking.
camera, I will bet you.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Sevencore is a classic MMORPG set in a fusion fantasy world, which means there is both classic fantasy mages and warriors. Mage, warrior, 3 races and 3 classes. And there's also gunners, which are actually using futuristic weaponry. The background story about that is that some energy source was discovered that actually allowed them to build this sort of machinery. Show me this one here. And there's 3 races. So there's the Nuke, the Shajat, and the Brooder. We just saw one of each. These are kind of human looking. Then there's the ones that are kind of looking like elves, and some that are looking a little bit like orcs. So just to actually give you an impression about the class of the gunners, most people, because they're kind of different from all fantasy settings, would like to see that first. So you have the choice between one-handed and two-handed weaponry. You do have that choice with every class. It's also the case that there is, because there's only these 3 classes at the moment, there is no healer class. So you have the auto-potion system, which used to be quite common, and is kind of being brought back. So up here you set the threshold, a limit. As soon as your life goes underneath this limit, an item gets consumed to heal yourself. It has that cooldown of a few seconds. So you don't have to constantly heal.
I think it's the first time I see it.
Oh, really? It used to be quite common in older games. Silk Road, for example, used a system like that. And then with a few years back, then the healer class was introduced, and since then everybody did that. However, a lot of the games actually, I find when I play them, I personally like playing the healer, but a lot of the times people don't like playing the healer. So you're constantly lacking the healer, and then you can't play because you're lacking the healer. So this doesn't happen here. So this is a dungeon actually, but since I am infinitely more strong, powerful than they are, this is just for demo reasons really. So you also have a lot of, Sevencore focuses a lot on pets. So you have fighting pets that, this one for example, they level up with you, because this one was actually...
How many possible pets are we talking about?
We're talking about currently about 20. In-game, you can get all the pets in-game. It's a free-to-play game, so we have an in-game shop. So you can either ride on the pet, or I think this is actually a display issue. This should have wings and a saddle, and it had in the last presentation. So, but we are still in the open beta test phase. So small glitches still happen, and particularly when you're filming stuff, this happens. So yeah, maybe if I just call him back again. Okay. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong here. Anyway, so we're talking about 20 different kinds of pets. I'm just going to show you different ones in here. So you have also, this would be there's a rhino, and then you have turtles, and there's other ones like hyenas and spiders and all sorts. You can also get them all in-game as well. From certain monsters, elite monsters, they drop pets that look like themselves with a certain probability. I'm just going to flick through different characters so you don't see all the same setting. You also have the entire world designed as an open world, so as long as you don't do what I do now, you log in once, so you have the login screen and the entire world gets loaded, which makes it a lot quicker for the gameplay setting afterwards. It's another option for a pet that you can get. So you get the pet fairly early in the game, when you're level 15 roughly, which is maybe 1 hour gameplay. And because the world is so big, as you just show you, but actually when you look around you already get roughly an idea that everything's designed very grand, very big. So this is just the area that we're in now. The world map is a lot bigger, but this is the map that we're just looking at. So you start here, then you go here, and go all the way around here. Currently, the level cap is set. Actually, you can set it, see it in this part map. You can see it a bit better. Currently, the level cap is set to 80. But we're already planning to increase it to level 95 within the next 3 months.
Already?
Well,
it's not better. They're speaking already and increase the.
Yes, we had level 60. Yeah, there's also the plan to bring in another. Actually, there was a Tyrannosaur in the background there. We're going a bit closer, maybe you can see it. It's kind of cool. Okay, maybe just somebody just killed it and we didn't see. Also possible. There's also the plan to bring in another continent in order to try to increase the level cap, as well as bringing in another class. So the new class would be an assassin class or a rogue class. We're still testing it, not quite finished yet. And also a new race is planned to be brought in. For that, however, I don't have a time setting yet. So yeah, this one is a warrior class. Again, you can choose between, it's like a links. It's like you can choose between one-handed weapons, two-handed weapon. The two-handed weapon deals more damage but is slower overall. Yeah, I think somebody must have called it Tyrannosaurus. But it was filmed, so I think you can see it now.
How many pets can you own?
You can own infinite amounts, but you can only have one active at the same time. So I can actually also become one with my pet, and then I basically am the pet. I can ride on the pet, I can fight while I'm on the pet, although this one doesn't. And I can just ask my pet to fight for me as well.
So it's an all-in-one thing. Pet plus mount plus...
Pretty much. Not all pets can do everything.
No.
For example, there's also flying pets. Flying pets cannot fight. But flying pets can fly, obviously. But that is a massive advantage. If you look at the world map in particular, you can fly over
the mountains.
Instead of going all the way around here, you just fly over it. Then there's underwater pets as well. So there's also underwater battle and underwater pet battle. The underwater pets are supposed to, and yesterday it worked, when you go underwater, as soon as you go underwater you have a limited amount of air, breathing time. When you have an underwater mount, you don't have that problem. Unfortunately, earlier I showed that and it didn't work. So, we're still in the testing phase, and you can tell there's still a lot of things that need fixing or testing, or the balancing is still being worked on as well. And some pets are loop pets as well. You can actually set different pet schemes. What should they do by themselves? Should they attack by themselves? Should they not? So it's very pet focused. Then there's also quite a bit of PvP going to be brought in. Right now there's only the duel function. Whoever you meet in the game, you can ask them to duel you. And you can bet money on who wins, and the winner gets the money. You do not have this. It's a pretty big guy. He's a 2-star elite level, so he could technically drop amount that looks like him, but as I call him the skeleton version of himself. Looks pretty cool. Right now, I haven't seen any of them yet. So I think they're not too easy to obtain. But yeah, they are pretty cool. Then there's the things you see around here are from the actual crafting system. You can collect some collection stuff like plants, stones, like gems, and this is like a craft, so you can actually collect things like leather, etc. And from that later on you can craft materials. For the in-game content, of the time on a tight schedule, I'm rushing through it. The endgame content is planning, as I said, to bring in another continent, another class, and another race. And there's also the plan to bring in mechanical mounts. You can see them a lot on the loading screens and on the posters. Right now they are not really implemented yet. You can use, in some cases you get actually use them for a quest. For example, somebody asks you to fly over there, and then you hop on a mount and fly, but only for that quest. So later on in the game you will actually be able to own one of them as well by yourself. They do not level by themselves, you have to actually improve them by building items that you then attach to the mounts, to the, let's say, a hover bike. And then somebody can craft items from other items, and then you attach them to your bike in order to improve your bike to make it better.
Like upgrades.
Sorry?
Like upgrades.
Yes, like upgrades, exactly.
I wonder, do you have a digital store within the game? Digital store to
In-game store.
Yeah, in-game store to buy stuff like
Yes, we do. I can show you that.
And you can get mounts in that store, or you can get mounts only through playing.
No, both. Both are possible, yeah. It's usually expected the other way around, that people think you can only get them from the shop. But you can actually get them both ways. They are almost the same. The big difference is that the pets that you can buy in the shop are also loot pets, so they loot for you. Other than that, they're the same thing.
I would pay for that.
Yes, I would too. But yeah, basically we try to focus a lot on the fact that you do not have to use the shop. We try to keep it as free to play as possible. Most of the items that you can buy are either fashion items with like a tiny effect, like this one for example, increases your mana by 3%, which, you know, it's a little bit of an effect, so you don't feel like you're being ripped off just for looks, but it is not a balance breaker either. Then you have items here, for example, like these increase your damage. 200 bullets that increase your damage, but they run out, so depends on how much more damage you can get them up to lower grades of them in-game all the time. They drop from monsters that, you know, you get them from quest rewards. So it's really just the high-end versions of them that you can buy if you want to make even more damage. Then this one is like a revival stone that you get revival stones in-game, but this one doesn't have a cooldown. So if you get revived and then you get killed immediately again, you can still be revived immediately again. So it's more like a comfort items rather than anything on the effect. So yeah, if here I have, like, for example, you can buy the turtle in the shop, you can also get them in the game. You can buy the rhino in the shop, you can also get it in the game. Thirdly, I don't have any cash. I cannot actually show you. I think one of the accounts actually does have cash, but I'm not sure which one. Yeah, so most of the items can definitely be obtained in the game and are necessary in order to complete the game, or complete the game as much as you can complete an online game. Inventory expansions, for example, are a good example. This one here gives you a permanent extra line in your inventory this year, but you can also buy that for in-game